Andaman and Nicobar Islands, where waiting for us is Ebrahim Jadwet, who's the secretary of the Nicobar Chamber of Commerce and Industries and a social entrepreneur working for Chains. Hello, hello and welcome. Welcome, Ebrahim.
Thank you very much. It's really a pleasure being part of this group. I can see 3 or 4 people from my islands are in the audience, which gives me more energy to speak about it. So Andaman Islands is actually a group of 572 islands in the Indian Ocean, and we belong to the Indian government. It's actually a union territory. And out of 572 islands, there are only around 37 or 38 islands. So there's a population of all about roughly around 400,000 people. And it's famous for tourism. And I hope all of the people listening today might visit the islands once the COVID situation is better. And if I talk about the energy, we are not much focused on wind energy, but like since the 1920s, our dependency on energy is only on fuel, on generators. So we are still in the old mode, but the government of India is actually pushing and focusing on creating more renewable energy. So our biggest focus is on solar. And if you see in last 1 or 2 years, there are works going on in different islands for installation of solar panels. Some of them are battery generated. And but still we are not up to the mark. So if, there's roughly around 55 kilowatts electricity produced here, out of which 40 kilowatt are still in the generator sets. So I hope this is a very good session. It's actually a good learning session for me, because I can definitely learn something in this week and go back to the islands and promote more renewable energy. And I feel that more and more people should connect and with organizations such as Island Innovation, and because energy is something, it is a basic need, and we all require that, and we need to preserve it for a future generation. So for which I feel that we need to focus on more renewable energy. And as far as wind turbines are concerned, I think it's a very good idea what the islands are doing there. I feel that as a social entrepreneur, in fact, I myself is looking in various opportunities such as solar and wind, and I will definitely try to connect and see if there is any scope in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. And I wanted to ask a question is, what happens during rainfall if there is like heavy rains, and what happens with the working system of the wind turbine? And how many, approximately one wind turbine, how many households can it reach? How many houses?
Well, there's 2 men here who should be able to help Ebrahim, and Mark was offline briefly, but now...
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's me working fine. Yeah, so I mean, you're just supplying just over half of you, so but you still have 40 kilowatt as diesel gensets, basically, Ebrahim, do you? I think as far as rain doesn't affect turbines to any great degree. I mean, they're waterproof and they just work fine. Most of the modern devices we're using, and they get it. And then Orkney, they'll get it from every angles, not just from above. It'll be up and under and all the rest. We had some really interesting times, being a bit techie, that the sheds that we have all the control switching gear in, it's quite hard in Orkney because in the winter, the rain, the salty water will get in everywhere. But in the summer you get too hot, and it's almost impossible to have a system which lets enough ventilation in the summer but keeps the salt out when the wind blows. And that has been a big issue for us as far as the rain goes. But no, so it's fine as far as operating those devices. I say the projects we talked about here, they're not trying to balance their whole islands. We have other good examples of that. I mean, there's islands like Egg and other communities. And I think the biggest secret, even Madeira on one of the Smile projects, And the biggest secret is making sure you have, if you have any opportunity for storage and cheap storage, the batteries are getting there, but anything which is like pumped hydro or anything. I mean, Madeira incredibly is so fortunate to have water for that as well, even though it's because of the hills in the middle. But identifying that sort of storage, and then, as you say, balancing it at low voltage. Carry on. Sorry.
And I think Brian was going to come in.
I think it's a great opportunity.
Oh, okay. Ibrahim first, and then Brian. Yes, carry on.
It's a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity, and I think even here on my part, I will definitely try to talk to the people in the administration here and see if there is more opportunity for the wind turbine in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, because we are focused on solar right now, but I think there is also potential for wind. So thank you very much for all the information.
Oh, thank you.
And I hope you will
joining us,
visit
but I think
Islands soon.
we would love
Yes,
to come and visit. That's a very kind invitation. And here's Brian, who might well invite you to Hoy as well. Brian, what about the rainfall?
Yeah, just to comment quickly on there. First one was the rain. As Mark alluded to, generally rain in Orkney is horizontal rather than vertically down. So we deal with it in a different way. But what we do get here is a lot of lightning. That is something to consider if you've got severe weather systems. We've just gone through an instance of damage on our turbine. Gladly we're running again now, but lightning that's associated with rainstorms sadly is a bigger worry for us. But the second point I wanted to make, Ebrahim, for you there, as you assess your options, our wind turbines are quite large. Probably they're the size they are, as Mark said earlier, to optimise the government incentive scheme, what we call the feed-in tariff. But as we mature and move forward, and these projects broaden and become less experimental and more practical, what we're realising is that solar now complements wind, even at our line of latitude. If it's applied correctly with intelligent control and storage, it works well with wind, even though wind is our predominant resource.
Yeah. Brian, thanks for this, and Ebrahim, thank you for joining us and your questions. And we're going to.
I just wanted to add something.
Yeah, come back.
A quick note. One of my colleague, who's a very senior journalist here, Zubair, he just messaged me that the Nicobar Islands has already or winds over there. So I think it's a really a great opportunity for us to connect. And I think I'll definitely go through all the notes and files of this summit in last 1 week, and definitely will look forward for it.
We've enjoyed your company very much. Thank you. And now we're going to go through several thousand miles of cyberspace, because our final destination is in the South Atlantic, out on the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. It's the island of St. Helena, and waiting for us there is Lolly Young, who's chair of the community organization